Special reports from GB News' US correspondent Steven Edgington on America's only Muslim-dominated city. Hamtramck is in Michigan, has radically transformed with bans on LGBT flags, animal sacrifice laws and the call to prayer. And here's a taste of that exclusive report.
Islam is America's last hope.
What happens when Muslims take over an American city?
Everywhere where these radical Islamists have touched, what you get is chaos. You get violence. You get the subjugation of women.
So you don't think there's any issue in getting a 7-year-old to wear that kind of dress?
I don't think it's really a bad thing.
It's an astonishing piece of journalism. I'm delighted to be joined now by Steven Edgington, who put that together for GB News. Steve, welcome to the show. I watched this last night. My jaw was on the floor when I watched it. Please tell us about this town and how it's radically changed in such a short period of time.
In 2021, Hamtramck in Michigan elected a fully Muslim council, the first in the United States. Also, they have a Muslim mayor. And since that time, as you rightly mentioned, they've passed a series of very controversial laws. And that's why I went to this town to find out how Muslims have transformed this American city. It used to be a Polish-dominated town, Polish-American-dominated town, and now it has become a Muslim-majority place. And what they've done is they've passed laws in favor of animal sacrifice in residential properties, including in people's backyards. One person we talked to found a goat carcass in her rubbish bin one day randomly. Furthermore, they have introduced a ban on LGBT flags flying from government buildings, which has angered many of the local liberal left-wing population who say that LGBT people no longer feel safe in Hamtramck. And we've also seen the rise of women wearing burqas. And many residents, locals, said to us that there are some concerns around the subjugation of women, particularly their social role in the family and their sort of subservience to men. So I think the town has transformed hugely in recent years. And to add to this, just down the road in Dearborn, which is a few miles away, recently there was a Muslim rally to do with Palestine where people were chanting "Death to America." So some very controversial issues going on in America at the moment. It's not just in the UK. There's been a huge amount of immigration from Muslim countries to the US as well.
And Steve, in this incredible piece of work, you talk there, we can see on the screen, with an imam, and you put his own social media posts to him. You just verbatim just put what he put out about his anti-Semitic comments, and he starts calling you an Islamophobe. He starts denying it. And I was also struck, Steve, by a culture of fear amongst the residents in the town. They're afraid to speak out about this.
I think that's probably right. Some people were afraid to speak to us about this very controversial issue. I did interview various imams, and as you say, I quoted some of their tweets and so on. One of them retweeted something about all Muslims spitting on Israel, meaning that they would drown. I thought that was quite controversial. The particular imam that you were referring to in that clip, he has very close links with the Iranian regime. He is friends, he admits this personally and openly, that he has been friends with previous Iranian presidents and Iranian ayatollahs. Now, what people have to remember is Iran is responsible for funding Hezbollah, a terrorist organization. It persecutes women if they don't wear the niqab or the hijab through lashes. They literally lash them on the back for this crime. And they're also responsible for locking up political prisoners and for torturing prisoners. So for this man to openly admit that he is friends with the Ayatollahs, friends with these presidents, I think is very controversial. And it just shows how radical Islam is spreading across the United States. And it's a real concern.
And Steve, you're doing fabulous work out in America. Please tell us, where can GB News find this documentary to watch?
They can go to the GB News YouTube channel and they can see it there. They can watch the full thing, 35 minutes long.
It's great stuff. Steve Edgington, American correspondent for GB News, thank you very much for joining us. Fantastic stuff. Thank you very much.